Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my versus video between the Curry Flow 8 and the Curry Flow 9. So as far as the price goes, it's exactly the same. It's 160 bucks. So if you guys do want to call up, I'll try to leave a link in the description box, but let's get started right off with the tracciones. And as you guys can tell, the traction pattern is extremely similar, pretty much identical, and I guess the midsole is a little bit different as far as the paint goes, but that's not really the outsole. So how does the performance differ? It doesn't differ really at all. I mean, the Curry 8 Flow had like god tier traction. The bite is almost too hard. You know what I mean? If you're playing on a clean court, you're gonna be stopping on a freaking dime. It feels like you're playing with glue or something, you know? And same thing with the Curry 9. But one thing that I did notice though is that when I first started playing with it, the condition on the court was very dusty, and I was sliding out a little bit, and I did have to wipe, and it's a super easy wipe here in the Curry 9, right? And every single time I took the Curry 9, I did take the Curry 8, and for some reason the Curry 8 was biting a lot better than the Curry 9 on dust when I first got the Curry 9, right? So I feel like that has to do with like maybe two things. The Curry 8, I did play on an outdoor court, and maybe there's like microscopic grooves on the Curry 8. I don't know what it is, but also for the Curry 9, once I started playing in it more and more, I really had no issues with dust. So that's my experience a little bit there on a dusty court. Clean court, like I said, they're both god tier, and for durability, I feel like, well, for the Curry 8, I did play on an outdoor court, and I really had no issues with durability. It didn't seem terrible like I thought it would be, and I feel like the Curry 9 is going to be the same. So as far as the overall traction goes, I would pretty much tie it up. And now moving on to the heel to toe transition. So here in the Curry 8, we have a very nice curved shape here in the heel, and it's pretty much the same exact shape here in the Curry 9. Like, so super smooth, it doesn't feel clunky at all. And also here in the forefoot, I really like the shape as well. So once you put a little bit of weight here at the front of your foot, it really wants to rock forward and feels really nice when you're running down the court. And also when you're shooting, it feels really nice because it really puts you on your toes when you're shooting. So heel to toe transition, extremely smooth in both of the shoes, and I would tie it up. And same thing with the cushioning setup, right? So we got full length flow, as you guys can see, and it says flow pretty much in the exact same spot on the foam as well, here on the medial side. And yeah, it feels pretty much the same actually, right? So it's a very responsive cushioning setup, very low to the ground. Impact protection, I would say, is adequate. Not the best if you were looking for something that'll make your feet feel like you're walking on clouds or marshmallows, and if you land really hard, it's super soft and you don't feel anything, then this is not the shoe to get. You still feel a good amount of impact when you're doing like hard impacts, but for the most part, I would say it has good impact protection for like moderate impact, you know. So yeah, as far as the overall feel of the cushion, it's pretty much the exact same. As far as the insole goes, yeah, the insole is pretty much the same as well. It feels like a regular ortholite insole. Moving on to the upper, right? So the upper is pretty different. So here in the Curry 8, we got a nice knit material pretty much throughout this entire upper. We have a few ventilation holes here on top of the toe box. It is pretty damn thin and minimal. It feels very good on foot. It conforms to your foot, and same thing with the Curry 9. I would actually say the Curry 9 feels a little bit thinner though. So the Curry 8 feels maybe just a tiny bit cozier, but to be honest, when I had both of these shoes on at the same time, it was pretty hard to notice a difference. So me nitpicking with like the very fine details, yeah, the Curry 8 feels a little bit more cozy, I guess, but the warp upper is still like super soft and a little bit more minimal. Here on top of your foot, we have the tongue here in the Curry 9, but we don't have a tongue here in the Curry 8. It's a one booty upper with a stretchy knit material, right? But doesn't really feel all too different either, just because there's not a whole lot of padding here in the Curry 9. Just in my personal preference, I feel like they should have added a little bit more padding. Maybe just like the Curry 8. The Curry 8 might be a little too much because it's super well padded, but I want a little bit more padding here in the tongue. And I definitely think that would help the Curry 9 feel different than the Curry 8, right? But one thing that I noticed is that just here in the back of the shoe, you definitely notice this part a little bit. But I mean, that's about it. Just like on foot and for performance, I would pretty much tie up the materials. For the quality, I tied up as well. I mean, for 160 bucks, I definitely think the Curry 8 could use better synthetic materials. And same thing here in the Curry 9 with this like synthetic suede. Like, it feels super cheap, right? But other than that, I tied everything up. Moving on to the fit, the Curry 8 Flow does run short, so go up half a size. And I went up half a size for the Curry 8 and fits me extremely well. The Curry 9, I went true to size and fits me pretty much the same as the Curry 8. of when I went up half a size. And it's a very similar fit, so it's pretty snug here in the toe box. It's a slightly narrow width as well. And both of these shoes just really fit me like a glove. And also both of these shoes are really easy to put on. You know, the Curry 8 has this stretchy kind of like knit collar, so you just open it up and slide your foot in. The Curry 9, you have a very large tongue and it opens up a lot with this very high heel tab. So it's a very easy process to put the shoe on and tie up the laces. Moving on to the support and lockdown. Support and lockdown, I had no issues personally. So for lateral containment, the Curry 8, you have the synthetic material, and then the Curry 9, you have just this warp upper, but this warp upper I would say feels a little bit more supportive, you know, even though it is thinner. But like I said, I really had no issues with lateral containment here in the Curry 9 or the Curry 8. Also here in the heel, we have an internal TPU heel counter as well as the foam coming up. So lateral containment was good for me in both of the shoes. And for lateral stability, both of these shoes are extremely wide, and you also have a very low to the ground feel, so lateral stability was good as well. And now moving on to the weight. The weight I feel like was pretty similar, right? So the Curry 9 is like 10.41 ounces, and then the Curry 8 is like 10.79 ounces, so it's just a tiny bit heavier for the Curry 8. You know, 0.4 ounces isn't really gonna do anything. And both of these shoes feel extremely lightweight, extremely minimal on foot. You feel like a killer ninja just because the traction is extremely silent. There's no squeak to it at all. You're very low to the ground, and it's a very responsive feeling shoe as well. So yeah, I love how both of these shoes feel on foot. Moving on to the ventilation, I would say they're around the same. Maybe the Curry 8 actually has a little bit more airflow just because of these ventilation holes. The Curry 9 still has a little bit of airflow, but not as much, but it is a thinner material. But overall, I would tie it up for ventilation. They're both pretty cool. Moving on to the aesthetics, I don't know guys, in my first kind of like comparison video, I said I might like the Curry 8 better, but the Curry 9 definitely did grow on me, and there's some really cool colorways or PEs that Steph Curry was wearing. And now I feel like the Curry 9 looks a little bit better. Sorry that I changed my mind, but yeah, so there's that. Tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah, it's a tie. It was actually very hard to tell the difference between the Curry 8 and the Curry 9. They both feel extremely similar. God tier traction, very responsive cushioning setups. Like I said, the materials feel very, very similar. And yeah, so if you like the performance of the Curry 8, you're gonna love the performance of the Curry 9. It just kind of sucks. I don't know guys, like maybe it's just me, but I like to see an upgrade in the progression of like a signature line. But like if you get a really, really nice performing shoe, like why change it, right? So that's exactly what they did here. And yeah, it's a top tier performer. I absolutely love it. Of course, for the Curry 10, I would like to see something a little bit different. But for the most part, if they keep it very similar to these, I don't think I'll be mad. But anyways, that about concludes this versus video. Again, if you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I try to leave a link in the description box. Actually, the Curry 8, on Under Armour, it's not on sale, but I feel like I saw some sales on like Foot Locker or like eSpay or something like that. So if you don't want to spend like full retail for the Curry 9 since it's new, you should be fine with getting the Curry 8. But anyways, that about wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.